Hi everyone, this is Darren with SimNation. Doing a quick recap video for GSNCFL, which for those of you who know is one of our mini Draft Day Sports College Football 2026 leagues. In the case of this league, this is a combined league of the FCS and FBS, so it has all the teams from both divisions. It's playoff time. Actually, the first round's already run. We'll take a look at that. But just want to call out a couple quick things. So, 65 Toss Power Trap ended the season as the number one team, mostly because Maryland lost in the championship game to Washington. Though I think Washington may have been number one at that time. Maryland, of course, comes in at number 7. You have Auburn, who is Matt, at number 17. InvisibleWitness, who's at North Dakota State at number 19. Sam Houston State, of course, is vgorilla at number 20. And William and Mary was actually my second team, kind of a zero to hero for an FCS. Who came in at number 25. The playoffs in GSNCFL work a little bit different. The conferences that have more than 5 members in the conference get a automatic berth into the playoffs, and then the remainder of the teams are based on rank. So it's a 32-team playoff. So as you can imagine, there's I think it's 22 teams get an automatic berth, and then the other 10 are coming out of the top whatever was left after the conference champions are coming in. So let's take a look at the playoffs real quick. We'll go back to the first round. So Utah, of course, is the number 1 seed. They pour Abilene Christian. Not much of a game here. Utah just basically ran them over. Utah is one of the teams to keep an eye on. They've had a really good season behind 65 Toss Power Trap, especially after last season. But in fairness, he didn't really run them last season the same way he did this year. Duke versus Sam Houston State. So this is vgorilla against Duke. Duke is one of the favorites for the tournament. However, they did get upset by Sam Houston State. And Sam Houston State, what you'll notice about vgorilla, really strong rushing coach. He is able to just basically ground and pound, and that's how he managed to take out Duke. So really good game there. Great win for vgorilla. William and Mary versus USC. So this was me versus the CPU. Unfortunately, William and Mary, who was the CAA champion, lost like 2 of the first 3 games, but then came back and was on a massive winning streak. Just no match for USC. USC is actually a team that even Maryland struggles with. So you see here that Sean Williams, who's our quarterback, had a pretty good game, but in the end it wasn't enough to get him over the hump, and that first half really killed them. Being down 31-3, there's no way that you're really going to come back from that. Long Island is 25 Wilson. He won his conference, so that's why he's in. He's going up against a pretty good Florida State team, and of course Florida State just dominated in this one. So not a shock though. If you're interested, Florida State is an open team. Definitely would love to have you or have a coach there. Maryland versus Incarnate Word. This is my team and also the defending champion. Maryland just didn't even really pause against Incarnate Ward. Pretty much ran him over with both a strong rushing attack and passing attack, which is both staples of what Maryland does. Iowa State versus Furman. If I remember correctly, I think Iowa State is coached by somebody, and I should know this off the top of my head. So I apologize. Well, we'll just talk about the game and then I'll figure out who it is. There's so many teams in this league, it's sometimes really, really hard to remember who's who. So, from an Iowa State perspective, they are actually not. I wonder why. Who cares? So this is 2 CPU teams against each other, Furman and Iowa State. Of course, Iowa State won this one, but Furman gave them a really good game really the first half is what was the difference maker. Miller had a strong game. This is Invisible Witness at North Dakota State against Ohio State. And if you're a Buckeye fan, sorry, but Visible just completely outran them in the first half and then was able to hold on going into the second half. Probably as much of a dominant game as I've seen North Dakota State play. And, of course, they are the champions of the conference. So it makes sense that they were there. Washington, who is, I think, the number 2 seed, if I remember correctly, easily routs Tennessee Martin. This one was never going to be close. Auburn, who is Matt, is going up against Marshall team. A little bit closer probably than Matt wanted to see. Really good first half from Auburn, but they had to hold on in the second half. Singh just went off. You can see 365 yards passing, 110 yards rushing. Just a monster game from him. 2 CPU teams in San Jose State and Texas. Texas manages to hold on and win this one relatively easy, mostly on the ground behind Moore. Probably still benefiting from having Kevin as their coach last season. Tulane versus Bethune-Cookman. This one, Tulane is actually a pretty good team, but they struggled. Bethune-Cookman almost came back and won that one in the end, but just fell a little bit short. You can see here that Wright had a really good game passing. And then you have Drake versus Ole Miss. This is 2 CPU teams again. No real challenge here for Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a pretty strong team. One of the teams I think have the possibility of taking it, even though they're CPU. Montana versus Miami. Again, no contest here. Miami easily wins this one, largely based off the rushing attack, but still really, really solid game from them. Then we have another CPU matchup with Central Florida versus Princeton, so the Ivy League champion. And again, not really a contest till Central Florida wins this one easily. 2 CPU teams again, Notre Dame versus Ohio. And in this one, Notre Dame actually gets upset by Ohio. So a couple big upsets in this one. This is probably the biggest of them because Notre Dame entered as a top 4 seed and then lost to Ohio, who wasn't even ranked. And then the final one is Bucknell versus Oregon State. This one was never really going to be all that close. As you can see here is Oregon State won, kind of ran away with it in the first half and then just held on. Bucknell's Strauss did have a pretty good game. You see this, 229 yards. He also ran for 136. Really strong game from him. If we look forward to the next round, Auburn versus Utah is the only game I think that we have where 2 coaches or human coaches are playing each other. This will be an interesting game. Both of these are really good coaches. Matt, of course, is a very known entity to me because he's been in SNCFL for a long time. And Auburn, if I remember correctly, is actually his favorite team. 65 toss power trap. He won GMCFL like 2 seasons ago, so he knows how to coach as well. So this one I'm going to call a push, only because they both do what they do very well, and it'll be interesting to see which one comes out on top. Texas versus Tulane. This is a CPU game. I like Texas in this one, probably by more than the spread. Texas should probably win by like at least 2 touchdowns. Miami, Florida versus Ole Miss, another CPU game. I actually like Miami in this one over Ole Miss. It'll be interesting to see how it comes out, but I think Miami wins this one by a touchdown. UCF versus Ohio. It'll be interesting to see, can Ohio continue the magic that they've got against UCF? I don't think that they will. UCF is a really solid team. This is one of those teams, if you want to come into the league, definitely is a strong team to take. I like Sam Houston State over Oregon State, and I'm not just saying that because it's vgorilla. I am saying it because it's vgorilla. Because I think that between his offense and his defense, he has all the right tools to down Oregon State. Florida State versus USC. By the way, before anyone asks me, Oregon State didn't get an automatic berth. They were one of the top-ranked teams. That's why they're here. Florida State versus USC. This one will be a really, really good game. I think Florida State wins this one over USC. But again, these are 2 CPU-controlled teams, and if you want to come in and grab one of them, definitely worth taking. Maryland versus Iowa State. I like Maryland in this one. Maryland's offense is really good. Their defense needs to improve, but I think that they are a little bit more balanced this season than they were last season when they won the championship. And then North Dakota State versus Washington. This is going to be a really, really hard matchup for Visible. But what I've learned between WWPF and SNCFL is Invisible's really good at these games. So I'm going to take North Dakota State by a touchdown. That's kind of it for now. I will probably do a recap tomorrow after this Sims runs, just to give you an update. GSNCFL, like SNCFL, is a cash prize league, meaning that if you win the championship, you get a cash prize. However, anyone entering now wouldn't be eligible for it until the next season, only because I do have to cap it so people don't try to come in and grab, like, say, Florida State or something like that. But if you're interested, we have a lot of good teams. Let me know. Hit me up on Discord, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.